In the future, a woman could trade a freaking mountain of gold. A girl's just snagged a fruit when she spots these troublemakers. Smooth as silk, she creeps up and gets a motorcycle's gas line with her knife. Meanwhile, the guys are chowing down, clueless to the drama unfolding right under their noses. The girl moves on to another bike, itching to strike again. Suddenly, she feels a chill down her spine. A dude in a skull helmet catches sight of her. Quick as lightning, she shanks his thigh bone hard. His screams pierce the freaking woods. She whistles for backup and scrambles up a cliff, but a whip snags her ankle, yanking her down. She whistles again. The guy kicks her out cold and hauls her off on his bike. Just then, the girl's mom hears the whistle and zooms in on horseback. It's all going down in the middle of a never-ending desert. Turns out, it's been 45 years since human civilization bit the dust. Earth's a freaking wasteland now, and only those who control the goods call the shots. That forest earlier, it was the last green oasis. One of our crew nails a rider with a perfect shot. Another tries to haul us on a bike. Then mom comes charging in on horseback, slashing and sending him straight to hell. She jumps on a motorcycle and guns it, tailing close. Through her scope, she spots her daughter snagged at some camp. Even in the future world, an ugly girl's worth a freaking mountain of gold. The girl gets knocked out cold and snatched up by some baddies. But this girl's got guts. She jumps off the moving car and jams the rope into the rear tire on the way. The guy gets yanked to the ground and dragged rough and tough. Good girl. But they've already reached the camp. The girl still ends up in front of their big shot leader. And this guy looks like the Marvel flick, Thor. Let's call him Hammer Dude. The girl's all delicate and pampered, clearly from some cushy upbringing in the lap of luxury. After the apocalypse, women are all messed up from radiation. A healthy woman who can still have babies. She's worth more than a mountain of gold. Hammer Dude drags in that guy from earlier, but his throat's wrecked from being dragged by the motorcycle. His crew flips him upside down to draw a map of the oasis. The girl can't let the location of the oasis leak. She goes nuts, charging in and kicking like a wildcat, racking up the guy. Hammer Dude sees she's no pushover and decides to give her a breather. Meanwhile, mom swaps into enemy gear, while a sandstorm kicks up outside, swiftly taking out a few guards. The girl bolts over and hugs mom tight, but there's another woman in the tent. She claims she's a mom too and swears she never harmed the girl. The girl's heart softens, and she lets her go. This little girl's worth $1 billion. Mom swoops in and saves her just before the bad guys give chase. Bang! A shot rings out, and suddenly mom's back is on fire. She's forced to pull over, tossing her gear to the side as the fire scorches her back. Despite the pain, she senses Hammer Dude's crew hot on their tail. They enter a canyon area. Mom tells the girl to gun it on the bike and get out of there. But the girl ain't backing down. She refuses to leave her mom. Mom pulls out a peach tree seed, passing on the hope of survival to her daughter to protect their home turf. The girl's barely gone when gunfire erupts. Hammer Dude and his goons are right behind them. Mom takes out a few, but outnumbered, they snag her. The girl sensed trouble and hightailed it back, only to find her mom tied to a tree. Hammer Dude props open her eyes, making her watch as her mom tragically dies before her. Hammer Dude ain't just stopping there. He's always swallowing up small gangs to strengthen his grip. He's chaining people's limbs to motorcycles, and making his gang fight over them. If someone can ride one off successfully, he's in with him. If not, they're toast. It's unbelievably brutal. In a future world, one woman's worth a fortune. They snatch this girl, but she tattoos an oasis map on her arm to never forget where home is. Hammer Dude tries to soothe her with a doll, but she just tosses it away. Slowly, she stops being scared. Little does Hammer Dude know, this tough survivor is gonna be his worst nightmare. Furiosa. She's gonna be the baddest warrior in this wasteland. Hammer Dude chops people up, but then sees a red flare, and he gets all excited, chasing after it. He finds a war boy with a nail in his forehead. The boy thinks Hammer Dude is some kind of envoy from Heroes Hall. Hammer Dude gets straight to the point and asks where the goods are. The boy points him in the right direction, and mentions a place with plenty of water. Hammer Dude is thrilled, and he heads to the post-apocalyptic fortress built into the mountain. This place is ruled by the Earth's biggest warlord, Immortan Joe. Immortan Joe's got tubes in his mouth, and wears tough see-through armor. He drinks nothing but breast milk daily, and rolls with 5 wives in his harem. Immortan Joe's biggest wish is to have healthy kids, but it ain't happening. One kid's got learning issues, and another's a dwarf. In the future, women gotta wear iron undies. They even gotta report when they go to the bathroom, cause they're all Immortan Joe's wives. The iron undies are to stop them from cheating on him. The fortress is packed with tons of veggies and water, and it's home to over 100,000 folks, who are all Immortan Joe's property. Hammer Dude's so jealous he's gotta take over this place. He rolls up with a massive army to the fortress gates. Immortan Joe doesn't say a word. His advisor tells Hammer Dude to pick a war boy. Just then, the boy sprays lead paint into his mouth. Witness me! Then he leaps, spears in hand, slides down ropes, Finally, he crashes to the ground, causing an explosion, a witnessing death ritual to prove his loyalty. Immortan Joe's like, "You wanna attack here? Better think twice about my crew." He's got 972 war boys like that. But Hammer Dude ain't backing down. He goes straight into the fight. They clash, but Immortan Joe's got the upper hand with their superiority and fearless war boys. Soon, they're gaining ground. The war boys use magnets to snatch Hammer Dude's weapons and bikes. Little Furiosa gets dragged into a tunnel. Hammer Dude grabs her and hightails it out of there. After all, he's still dreaming about that oasis. In the future world, if you got 3 things, you can rule the whole globe: bullets, water, and gasoline. This place is the biggest oil refinery in the wasteland, and Hammer Dude's itching to take it over. He ambushes an oil truck on the way, scoops up a bucket of this white gooey stuff from the ground, and smears it all over his crew to make them look like war boys. Then they hop in the truck and head for the refinery. But the boss there ain't easy to fool. Immortan Joe's crew never rides motorcycles. When the gates stay shut, Hammer Dude starts sweating. He acts all pissed off, then takes out 2 guys covered in that gooey stuff to bluff the boss. That finally gets the gates open. Now, the refinery's his. Immortan Joe gets a distress sign from his buddy. Hammer Dude uses it to negotiate with him, even planting bombs all over the oil refinery. To stay safe, Joe's gotta trade food for peace. But Joe's son, Big Joe, ain't scared. He marches up to Hammer Dude with pliers, trying to force out the bomb codes. Hammer Dude freaks and lets go, accidentally killing the refinery boss. Seeing no way out, Hammer Dude plans to hightail with his crew. Then, out of nowhere, Immortan Joe spots Furiosa. In the future world, a woman's worth a mountain of gold. The guys want to take advantage of this little girl. She's slick and healthy looking, perfect for breeding. Immortan Joe says if Hammer Dude hands over Furiosa, he'll trade for supplies, oasis and food. Hammer Dude goes for the latter. Furiosa ends up at some holy spot, with tons of women popping out babies for Immortan Joe. Problem is, due to messed up genes, they all come out deformed. Big Joe's taken with Furiosa, and pets her hair on instinct, but it freaks Furiosa out, and she bolts like lightning. Late one night, Furiosa stuffs a walnut in her mouth, and hacks off her hair. She sticks it onto a hat with candle wax. Once she's out cold, Big Joe muffles her mouth, and sneaks her into his own room. Big Joe spots a map of some oasis on Furiosa's arm, but has no clue what it is. He picks up her hair and sniffs it. Furiosa bolts as soon as she can, leaving her wig in Big Joe's hands. She grabs some black stuff nearby, and smears it all over her face, turning it dark. Big Joe chases after her, but in a blink, Furiosa vanishes without a trace. In the future world, leaders only drink breast milk. The girl manages to slip away, with bad guys hot on her tail. Just then, Little Joe's on patrol and spots his big bro freaking out. He steps up and asks what's the deal, but Big Joe can't spill the beans. If Immortan Joe finds out he's been messing with his lady, he'd be praying to meet the Virgin Mary early. Meanwhile, Furiosa's hiding right under their noses. When she resurfaces, she's already rocking the look of a little troublemaker. She's out there on the front lines, hauling goods. One day, when the machinery breaks down, Little Joe asks her to fix it. Furiosa's nimble, swinging on cables, sliding down the machine, and deftly fixing the chain. Little Joe sees her skills and gives her a promotion. 15 years later, Furiosa grows up and joins Immortan Joe's badass guard, handling supply runs. Jack, the head honcho of the crew, is in charge of escorting 2 massive V8 engines. They power a monster truck to a bullet farm for a swap. But halfway there, these punk bandits show up on loud motorcycles, kicking up a storm of yellow sand. They drop in with parachutes from the sky and start messing with them. One of our war boys sprays lead paint into his mouth, and jumps out to take down 2 of them. Right then, Jack notices the truck's losing power. Turns out, there's a problem with the dang fuel line. This has gotta be the most hardcore chase ever in movie history. But boom, the car suddenly breaks down. The bad guys are about to pounce. Jack tells his sidekick to check under the car for the problem. Turns out, he finds Furiosa hiding down there. Just then, one of the crooks tosses a bomb. The sidekick gets blown right under the car in a split second. Furiosa grabs him fast, but he's on fire and looks like he's a goner. So, he passes the hose to Furiosa in a flash. Meanwhile, 2 other crooks seize the chance to plant another bomb. Furiosa tries to snuff out the fuse, but the crooks grab her leg. Jack swoops in with a mechanical claw, and snatches the crooks away just in time. And then he lets go, and the car rolls over the crooks, turning them into dust. Furiosa quickly sorts out the fuel line, but then one of the crooks messes up the truck's radiator, helping the others jump aboard. Furiosa climbs up front, ready to blow them sky high with a bomb. But the war boy snatches the bomb, showing off his guts, and gets blown to bits with the crooks. Furiosa takes the chance to fix the radiator. It's only then that Jack realizes Furiosa's a woman. He grabs a gun, shoots the crooks, runs out of ammo, and dives into the passenger seat. But just as he thinks it's over, a crook grabs Furiosa by the neck and drags her out. Jack tries to pull her back, but Furiosa grabs a weapon and stabs backward, saving herself just in time. In the future, women who can pop out babies are worth $10 billion. Furiosa's being chased by these goons. Out of nowhere, flames come raining down from this janky plane and bam. A whole damn truck goes up in flames. Furiosa snags a weapon and shoots fire right back, wiping out their main crew. But hold up, the fight's not done yet. Some dude in the distance is all strapped with a heavy machine gun, just spraying bullets like crazy. Furiosa pulls out a crossbow, nails the guy in the leg. Then she hops on her skateboard, glides to the back of the truck, kicks on this spinning thing, and turns the dude into a puddle of goo. Finally, the fight's over. Furiosa aims a gun at Jack's head, tells him to stop the damn car, but Jack just floors it and kicks her out. Furiosa's ready to kick Jack to the curb and haul her own butt home. But instead, she's stuck in the middle of this freaking wasteland. Just as she's about to hobble away, Jack pops up behind her. He starts yapping about how the world's turned into this wasteland, where oases are a thing of the past. It's all about Immortan Joe and Hammer Dude's turf now. Jack suggests they team up and keep on trucking. He swears he'll school her in all the tricks of highway warfare. Furiosa mulls it over. She's got zilch in terms of supplies, and going solo could be a death sentence. So, she decides to roll with Jack and hit the road. She smears some black oil on her forehead, marking herself as Jack's new sidekick. Armed with enough grub for 1,000 folks, Furiosa and Jack sneak into the oil refinery. Out of the blue, Furiosa bumps into Hammer Dude. Her blood's boiling. She instinctively grabs her piece. Jack swoops in just in time, keeping Hammer Dude from recognizing her. But then, the locals spot Jack's stash, and all hell breaks loose. Hammer Dude reluctantly clears a path, helping Jack bolt from the place. The locals go full zombie mode, chasing them down and even taking shots. In the end, Jack comes back empty-handed, not a drop of oil in tow. Immortan Joe is pissed off big time. He sends Jack back to the bullet farm, to load up on every damn caliber they got, hell-bent on wiping out Hammer Dude and his crew, to snatch that oil for himself. And all the while, he doesn't even realize that the chick riding shotgun with Jack is none other than that slick skater girl, Furiosa. Furiosa's nursing a bum shoulder, and Jack carefully stitches her up. That's when he spots a star map tattooed on her arm. With one look, he figures out it's a map to the oasis. After kicking ass together in battle, they share this unspoken bond. Once the job's done, Jack promises to help Furiosa find her way back home. This camp meant for 100,000 people is completely deserted. Out of the blue, a black dog strolls in, carrying some poor sap's foot. Jack smells trouble. He knows that dog belongs to Hammer Dude. He hits the panic button. All hell breaks loose in a flash. Furiosa hits reverse, hauling us out of the bullet farm. But Jack gets stuck inside. Furiosa grabs a big-ass gun, holding off baddies at the gate. Their firepower is nuts, and a wall of fire comes barreling towards her. Jack blocks the entrance with a big rig, screaming for Furiosa to bail. He shoots up a flare, signaling that all the war boys are toast, and desperately calling for Immortan Joe's help. Furiosa guns it out of there, then slams on the brakes and zooms back. She sneaks into the bullet farm and starts sniping Hammer Dude from a high spot. That kid from way back. Now she's a sharpshooter extraordinaire. Hammer Dude's goons get smoked in a flash. Hammer Dude whips out a rocket launcher and locks onto her. Furiosa shoots first, taking out his buddy. Just as she reloads, a rocket zooms straight at her, blowing everything up. Jack sees the chaos and floors it, crashing through a smokestack. Hammer Dude hangs on for dear life on a metal bridge while bullets rain down, and Furiosa crawls out of the wreckage. This is pure post-apocalyptic punk style, the most epic showdown. The guys dangling off the back of a bridge, teetering over a massive abyss. Just in the nick of time, Furiosa hurls a grappling hook his way, yanking Jack out. They bust out of the farm and hit the gas, making a run for it. But Hammer Dude crashes through the farm gate. He's hot on their heels and catches up fast. Furiosa starts shooting, but those giant tires of Hammer Dude chew up her arm like crazy. They're both banged up bad. Then those oversized tires roll over, flipping their damn car upside down. Hammer Dude and his crew circle around. They chain Jack to a bike and drag him, but he barely takes a few steps before face-planting. That bike just keeps on yanking him along. Hammer Dude even unleashes 3 vicious mutts to tear into Jack, while Furiosa's injured arm hangs there, hanging until sunset arrives. It's only then that Hammer Dude feels satisfied, and Jack's already out of here. Just as they're about to split, Furiosa takes off. The chain only has a stump of her arm left. At that very moment, Immortan Joe spots the oil refinery getting wrecked, and figures he needs to send some backup. But then Furiosa shows up. She tells everyone it's Hammer Dude's slimy scheme to lure Immortan Joe away so he can sneak into the fortress unchallenged. Immortan Joe decides to play dirty and flip the script. Welcome to the ultimate showdown in the future world. Both sides are going at it hard, with explosions rocking the wasteland. But Hammer Dude bites the dust. He bolts, leaving his crew behind in the dust. Furiosa shaves her head and gears up with a mechanical arm, hopping in her ride to settle the score with Hammer Dude solo. Hammer Dude ain't no dummy though. He splits his crew 3 ways to throw Furiosa off, but she ain't sweating it, slamming the pedal to the metal and sending one of them flying. One of Hammer Dude's lackeys nearly craps his pants. Scared stiff, he rips off Hammer Dude's disguise, yelling out he ain't Hammer Dude. Too little, too late though, as he sinks into quicksand. Furiosa guns it, escaping the quicksand's edge and gunning for Hammer Dude. Hammer Dude dives into a sandstorm, disappearing from Furiosa's sight. No one knows how long he's been running when he finally wakes up, exhausted, buried in a heap of rags with a busted water bag leaking dry. Furiosa's already found him, waiting patiently for him to wake up. Hammer Dude fires off rounds, but he's out of ammo. He takes off running, and Furiosa calmly follows in her car. Hammer Dude realizes she's toying with him and starts heading her way. Furiosa backs off, keeping a cool 100 yards between them, making sure Hammer Dude knows his days are numbered. In this future world, a woman's worth is like $1 million. Furiosa finally catches the bad guy boss, and the dude actually kneels down, begging for mercy right in front of her. Furiosa pulls off her hood and mask, ties up Hammer Dude's hands, and gives him a serious beatdown. Her mom, her lover, both gone because of this guy, and he still doesn't even know who she is. Furiosa revs up her bionic arm, swiftly cuts the chain hanging from Hammer Dude's waist. She grabs the doll and holds it up in front of him. At that moment, it dawns on Hammer Dude who she is, the girl he crossed paths with long ago. He mocks Furiosa. She once despised him as a child, yet now she seems to have taken on his ways. Furiosa thinks Hammer Dude is a sorry sight. She ties him to the back of the car and drags him along. Then she proceeds to tie him to a tree branch, grilling his rear end and drying himself out completely. Finally, Furiosa takes those peach tree seeds Mom gave her back to the basement of the fortress. Plant them smack dab in Hammer Dude's most sensitive spot. Days go by, and that tree's thriving like crazy, fed by his own body. Furiosa snags peaches off the tree, rocking her new mechanical arm. She hands out the fruit to Immortan Joe's 5 wives. Furiosa's plotting her move to lead the ladies back to the oasis. Next up, Venom Eddie joins Furiosa's crew as a buddy. Together, they take down Immortan Joe and his tyranny. The flick's called Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. It's a blast. Definitely check out the original. If you dig the video, hit that like and subscribe button. Catch you next time. Bye.